In this video, you're gonna learn exactly how to use ChatGPT to review complicated data sets, charts, graphs. Let me share my screen and let's get into it. So here we are in ChatGPT, and we're first gonna look at the SEC filings for NVIDIA. Now, by the way, make sure you stick around for the entirety of this video because there are some mistakes that you might make along the way which can compromise you, which can lead to certain privacy issues. Wanna make sure you get the best results, so make sure you stick around. And if you stick around to the end, there is a special treat at the end. At any rate, you might say to me, Mark, why do I care about NVIDIA? Well, it's one of the biggest stocks in the world. And what we're doing here is just an example of one of the many, many things we can use ChatGPT to do when it comes to data, which, again, not to get sidetracked, but you can use this for all sorts of things like reviewing your financial documents, local trends, surveys, maybe running ad campaigns, all sorts of data you can measure. And it's actually pretty amazing. Now, you do want to be careful if you're uploading personal sensitive information like medical charts, things like that. Maybe if you have social security numbers, sensitive personal information, I'd be careful uploading into ChatGPT. Trade secrets, things like that. But in this case, what we're simply going to do here is, and I'm on the pro version of ChatGPT, it's $20 a month, in my opinion, worth every penny. But what we're going to do here is I've gone ahead and come over here to sec.gov, and I've pulled up their filings that they just filed for their quarterly report in October. Again, if there's a particular stock you're thinking about investing in, something like that, you might try this out. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna come over here to ChatGPT and we're gonna say, act as my financial analysis expert. Okay, so it's all in here now. I sped up a little bit, but I'm asking it to act as my financial analysis expert. By the way, I always like to contextualize what I want ChatGPT to do for me at the very beginning. And I want it to be my financial analysis expert. If you want 52 prompts that are really gonna help you optimize, I'll put a link below. You can get those all at aiupdate.ai. But I need you to review financial filings for a company I'm considering investing in. Please review the data and explain any leaks, opportunities, and conclusions you might make based on the data set. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna copy, again, you can download all this data, but what I'm gonna show you here is we're just gonna copy the website and we are going to add this here. Please reference the data here. And we're gonna simply give it a link to that website. And ChatGPT is gonna go ahead, find it, and pull together relevant data that we should be looking at here, right? So NVIDIA Corporation, I, by the way, did not tell it was NVIDIA. It knows it's NVIDIA because it's ChatGPT. It knows freaking everything. If you're not using and programming these AI assistants and AI agents, you are woefully behind. And anyway, NVIDIA's corporations' recent financial filings indicate robust growth and strong financial health with notable performance in key segments. And again, it's gonna go into a lot of data here. I'm not gonna go through all of these specifics because that's not really what this is about, but you can look through it. And by the way, you gotta take stuff with a grain of salt. If there's something that you're looking at in the data and you're like, wow, that's pretty big, I like to think of AI as getting me 85% there. It's up to you to get the remaining 10 to 15% of the way there. It's sometimes not on point. So here's some risks. US government export controls, especially those affecting sales to China and their regions, could impact NVIDIA's revenue and market share. Interesting. Conclusion, NVIDIA demonstrates strong financial performance, financial growth. However, potential risks from export regulations, geopolitical tensions could be considered. Overall, NVIDIA's financial health, the strategic initiatives create a positive outlook, but it's essential to remain aware of associated risks. Sure. And by the way, this is not a financial advice. Another thing I could look at is like, oh, this is interesting. GAAP. So tell me, so let's say I'm interested in this earnings per share, for example. And what I can do is say, tell me more about the earnings per share. And again, you could go into more detail and tell me more about earnings per share. Is there more up? There's more down, but I'm going to see if it's going to give me even more data. And you can see how powerful this is, just giving me all this relevant, very technical talk. I could also, EPS is an investment indicator, boom, robust financial foundation, capacity. I mean, you could see how powerful this is. And all I did is go to a public website, the sec.gov. It has information on, the SEC has information on all these companies that are trading. So you can get all that data right here. What I can do next is say, how does NVIDIA compare to the stock market as a whole? And so again, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah, I'm not going to cover it in this video, but you can create your own custom GPTs to kind of help you with specifics as far as getting context. One of the things that you do also need to be a little bit aware of is, you know, if you're using ChatGPT for web search, which you can see that's kind of what I'm doing here, it's not always going to get the most up-to-date information. So one of the challenges that you might run into is it might be comparing data now with data in the past. Regardless, you can see how you can start to get a much clearer picture, and you can review a very, very complicated, detailed SEC filing. Look at this, all the numbers, pages and pages and pages and pages of data, and ChatGPT was able to review it, summarize it, and make some assessments based on that. I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and do this in school, boys and girls, but you know, this is a good way of getting. I wish I had this when I was in high school. Let's just say that. So anyway, you can see how you can start to use ChatGPT as a really powerful tool for assessing companies, stock valuations, et cetera, et cetera. Let's look at another example. What do you say? Let's look at another example. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new chat, and let's look at electric vehicle data. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and go to data.gov, and we are going to pull data set shows the battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles that are currently registered through Washington State Department of Licensing. So let's see what kind of data we can get here. Again, I'm not using my own personal information because that's my own personal information. I don't want to share that on YouTube, but these are just some examples of how powerful this is. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm not going to actually get it from the web. I'm going to attach a file because I have this file downloaded. I downloaded the CSV file, the comma separated values file. I've downloaded that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag and drop it. And I'm going to go ahead and ask, please review this data set. I'm going to start out with act as my expert. You know, look, you could say in marketing, you could give it all sorts of context. But anyway, we're going to say act as my data analysis expert. Please review this data set on electric vehicle usage. What conclusions can you make? All right, let's see what it comes up with. And again, you can upload CSV files, pictures, charts, graphs, all kinds of information. It's really, 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 really crazy. All right. So this data set contains 220,000 entries. Get that. We've been talking here. This was able to review ChatGPT was able to review 220,000 entries in seconds. Here are the key columns. Boom, 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 boom. Vehicle details, location, etc. Observations, complete data. Most columns are fully populated, but in some cases, some of the data is missing. Key categories, next steps. Analyze distribution, blah, 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 blah. Let's say, how can I use this data to make money? I will make some money. Let's see. There are several ways you can monetize this data set. Opportunity, identify popular EV models, makes, electric ranges, by location, inform marketing and production strategies. Sure, maybe I'm running a marketing campaign. I want to know where all the electric vehicles at. This is a easy way of doing that. Consulting for utilities, data for real estate. Let's actually do this. Let's do this. Highlight areas with high EV adoption for real estate agents or developers to market properties with charging station amenities. Can you give me some conclusions and a game plan based on this idea? All right, so I'm asking, can you give me some conclusions and a game plan based on this idea? Highlight areas with high EV adoption for real estate agents or developers to market properties with charging station amenities. And so it's going pretty broad here. Analyze the data set, profile target locations, but it's not actually giving me the specifics I want. But this is interesting. So it's giving me the game plan here. And what I'm going to do is, and look at this. This is interesting. It actually is recommending specific things that I might consider here. Analyze trends in specific locations. Let's do that. See, look how great this is. Would you like help with implementing one of these steps, such as creating a sample EV adoption density map? So this is where it's going to get interesting. So up until this point, it's looked at all the data, but now it's actually going to give me some specifics, EV trends by county and city. And we can see here that Seattle has a huge population of electric vehicles. I've analyzed EV trends by county and city and provided a detailed view of total EV counts and electric vehicle ranges. You can use analysis to pinpoint hotspots and gain targeted strategies. I mean, you might say to me, Mark, how does this help me? I'm not really interested in EV trends. That's cool. I get it. But you can start to see how you can just upload a spreadsheet and start going down the line and starting to develop sorts of plans. Oh, look at this. Show EV adoption trends visually on maps. Let's check that out. Let me just sip my coffee here while I let my genius assistant make this happen. Is this blowing your mind, by the way? I like to work smart, not hard. If you like to work smart, not hard, if you like to use AI to win, this is the time to hit subscribe. All right. This is the time to hit subscribe. Stop wasting your time on all the other junk you've been doing. Hit subscribe so we can work smart, not hard. All right, so we got an error on the first one. Let's see if it can regenerate this map. Let's see what it does for us. Okay, and so it was having a hard time creating a very detailed map, but it gave us this basic map. Again, if you're doing a presentation, maybe to shareholders, stockholders, you're putting together a business plan, anytime you've got data and charts, that's valuable. Again, you'd want to double check that this information was accurate, but this just gives you an idea of what's possible here. What's possible? Let's look at, what do you say? Let's look at another example. Does that sound good? Let's look at another example. Let's look at lottery winning numbers. Does that sound interesting? Let's try that out. All right, so we are going to look at the lottery Mega Million winning numbers beginning in 2022. So let's go here to Statista. We're going to reject the optional cookies. Whoever accepts the cookies? Do you ever accept the optional cookies? Who would ever do that? I don't know. And actually, we will get to this particular data set in just a moment, which I think is really interesting, leading desktop search engines worldwide. But we're looking at Mega Million winning numbers beginning in 2002. So let's come back over here and let's start a new chat. That's where we hit this little button up here. And we're going to say, and we're asking it to please review winning lottery numbers in this data set and tell us if it sees any trends. Again, this is from data.gov. I went ahead and downloaded this CSV file, and let's go ahead and just drag it and drop it right in here. And let's see, are there any trends? Anything we should be aware of when it comes to winning lottery numbers? I have no idea what to expect in this one. I'm kind of thinking a little bit outside the box today. I'm typically using this for data analysis on, like financial statements and stuff like that. But I'm just, we're having fun here. So the data set includes the following columns, blah, 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 blah. Keep going. Most frequent winning numbers, 31 appeared, blah, 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 blah. Most frequent mega ball numbers, 3, 4, each appeared 89 times. But given the random nature of lottery drawings, these variations may not represent a significant trend. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep on this. I thought this was a funny data set to take a look at. Let's keep it. By the way, if you think that that's dumb of me to do that, you could type that in the comments below. I don't care. I just thought I saw winning Mega Millions. So is there any trends here? Is there anything to see? Then you're not always gonna find something. But that's why we do this. Okay, cool. So let's look at a global search engine information. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. So we're going to ask it to ask, as our SEO expert, search engine optimization expert, what trends can you gather from this information set on global SEO use? And again, we're seeing there's this chart. There's going to be a lot of information on here. This is actually not as robust, but we've got a chart here. So let's see what kind of information it can give us here. It says, as early as 2024, Google's dominance in global search engine market remains unparalleled. In January 2024, Google held approximately 82% of the global desktop search market, with Bing trailing at 10%. Let's actually go into our chart here and make sure this is accurate. So it's saying about 82% accurate, Bing 10%, Yahoo. So you can see it right here, guys and girls. The information here is accurate. By February 2024, Google's share in mobile search was even more pronounced, commanding 95.37%. And we didn't actually ask for that, but it's giving us a link. So this is pretty interesting. What ChatGPT said is, hey, I know you're giving us a request for this information, but I actually looked across the internet and I found this data might be interesting to you as well. This is looking at not just desktop use, this is looking at mobile use. So I think that's interesting, considering all devices, Google's market share. And you know what I might ask it here is, what impact does AI have on search? So this is something I've been kind of tracking and following. So let's see, AI is reshaping the search landscape by transforming how users interact with search engines and how businesses approach SEO. But you know what I want here? Please substantiate your response with links and references that are current. All right, and this is something I really like to use as, again, a ChatGPT Pro user. I want to have links. I want to have references. I actually want that data. So let's see here. Emerging, blah, blah, blah. Integration of generative AI in search engines, search engine land. This is a little bit old January, but you can start to see AI-driven content optimization. And this is kind of cool too. Here, if I just hover over the link that's referencing, I can find data that's a little bit more, I can find the data that's more up to date, more accurate. This is interesting, how AI is impacting SEO and what to do about it. This is a blog from earlier this month, okay? It's been over a year since ChatGPT's meteoric launch and AI, blah, 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 blah. And you know what I can even do? I can copy this. Based on this blog and report, what changes should I make to my SEO strategy? So, and this has been a huge game change, is the internet search functionality and giving links. I can start to pull more information together much more quickly. So utilize AI tools to analyze data, identify trends. That is exactly what we're doing here. It's exactly why you're subscribed to this channel, so you can do that even better. But this is, again, interesting. And I think this is interesting too. We started by saying, hey, what's the market share of leading desktop search engines? And then by using ChatGPT, it said, hey, you might also consider mobile search. And now all of a sudden we've used various links and references that ChatGPT has recommended. And now we're looking at how AI is impacting. And we've kind of traveled around the internet. And this is exactly what I'm kind of talking about here. We're not Googling. We're not using Google to search the web. We're using ChatGPT to search the web and find specific use cases that are relevant to us. So this is I think, a very, very interesting process that we just went through. So enough of that. Let's talk about crypto, okay? Who wants to talk about crypto? Where are my crypto bros at? All right. We are going to talk about cryptocurrency. So what I'm going to do here is we are going to pop on over to CoinMarketCap, and we are going to say, yo, chat, act as my investment expert. Please assess the data. And so again, what I'm doing here is I'm asking it to act as my investment expert. Please assess the data on this website and help me make conclusions. Please search for trends. And then I'm going to link it to this website where we're looking at where Bitcoin is at. Bitcoin is now at 102,000. If you're watching this in a year, you're probably like, Mark, that is so old, because now Bitcoin is at 500,000. This is not financial advice, by the way, but that would be something. And again, you know, you can export data and stuff like that. I'm just simply going to a website, copy and pasting the link. As of December 13, 2024, Bitcoin is trading at 100,320, volume of 72 billion. Bitcoin surpassed 100,000 at the first point. And again, it's actually leveraging the website. This actually pulled from MarketWatch. Institutional adoption. Bitcoin's recent performance reflects growing institutional interest in favorable regulatory environment. However, its inherent volatility. So this is something again, this is why you watch this channel, because you're hearing the way I'm thinking about AI and how I'm using AI. So now that we got to this point, I'm going to say, hey, what percentage of my investment portfolio should be in crypto? Let's see what it says here. I'm interested. Again, you don't want to use ChatGPT to get you all the way there, but this is a good way of getting you 85% of the way there. And also, by the way, if you're going in to speak to a financial advisor or a certified financial planner, something along those lines, ChatGPT is a really good way to prepare for that meeting. to prepare for that meeting. We can use ChatGPT to start to speak the more technical talk, to kind of understand more of the nuance, and then I could go into that conversation a little bit more informed and able to ask better questions. I think that's a really important thing to consider. So this is interesting. Example allocation for $100,000 portfolio. Conservative, 1,000 to 3,000 in crypto, mostly Bitcoin. Aggressive, 20K in crypto, 16 in Bitcoin. So again, and honestly, this is pretty close to where I'm at in this type of assessment when it comes to investment. Now, again, you can start to see the power here of reviewing complicated data sets, looking at charts, looking at graphs, assessing trends. I don't think in this short video, I don't think there was anything that we ran into that was way out in left field. Everything here has to me, at quick glance here, been fairly accurate. So if you start to look at, for example, you're doing your financials at the end of the year, you might consider uploading some of your tax documents, some of your financial documents, your budget. You might start to look at marketing campaigns and trends that are happening in your local area. And you know what? If you're not sure where to start or what data sets you should be looking at, you can start with ChatGPT. So I'll give you just a quick example before we go here. So again, you're not sure exactly where to get data for a project. I'm going to give you an example here. Act as my marketing expert. I own a roofing company that specializes in commercial buildings in Florida. Where can I find relevant data that would help in preparing my marketing strategy? And we're going to hit go. And here it goes. Boom, boom, boom. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually ask it, can you be more specific on these points? And you can see here, I'm saying, can you be more specific on these points and share links to where I can retrieve relevant data? Boom, go, boom, link, boom, link, boom, link. Let's start here. Licensing information. The DBPR oversees licensing for construction professionals in Florida. You can verify contractors' licenses, including roofing contractors, through their online profile. Boom, done. This is so insane. Municipal building departments, Miami GIS hub, boom. And again, you might say, well, I don't really work in Miami. That's okay. You can look in Broward County or Tallahassee or whatever. So anyway, I want you to start thinking this way. This is the most important skill set that you can be developing right now. By subscribing to this channel, you're making a huge step. And I told you at the beginning, I have a free gift for you. If you go to aiupdate.ai, you get signed up for the newsletter, which is 100% free. I'm going to send you a gift, 52 of the most jaw-dropping prompts, the types of prompts, the type of words that I use in prompts to get the best result. Because again, the most important skill right now is learning how to get better information and how to use AI more effectively. We've gone through a few examples here today. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have a suggestion, type it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, peace.